very warm good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. Let's welcome one of the most beautiful, experienced, and powerful guests today that we have. She is none other than Shaolan Yen Lo. Is it okay if I pronounce as a Shaolan? Sorry,
You're
it's
getting
okay. Thank you. So nice of you for being with us. Well, our listeners have poured thousands of questions. One of the reasons is this platform has become quite popular in the world for two reasons. Number one, we have already uploaded more than 5,000 clips on this platform.
Oh,
We are
wow.
working on this platform for last more than 4 years. We have already hosted about 146 or 47 show is thus. And the biggest reason is we are very helpful, cooperative, and supportive to all the coming up entrepreneurs, speakers, and all those who wants to share their success story to the world. I remember Saulan had been to this platform before also, and it's our pride and privilege that once again she has come. So again, a welcome and thank you for being with us. Let me tell
Thank
you that this is a 30-minute session where we will introduce each other first and then we will go for the question answer session.
fine.
Here is a small introduction of Shao Len, which goes something like this. Shao Len, a wellness practitioner with over 20 years of experience, my God. She holds a diploma in soul care, shamanic healing, blending ancient wisdom with modern techniques. She empowers individuals to find purpose and joy through the holistic therapies and integrative life coaching. Drawing from her journey, overcoming racism and personal challenges, Saulan shares her five insanely simple steps to transform your life in her book, a manifesto from an open heart, inspiring self discovery and conscious living is perhaps the most suitable lines for our beloved guest, Saulan. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for a really great introduction. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, past, present, and emerging, and also I'd like to thank you for being here and doing this great interview with me. And I'm looking forward to, and hello to everybody out there, wherever you are, morning, night, or whatever time it is in your place.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, here are the few of the questions that all my listeners have sent to me. I have selected few of them. And the first question that Saulan I would like to ask you is it has got relation with unveiling self-care. Saulan, please tell what are the biggest myths about the self-care and self-love that the people need to let go for the true nurture their mind, body, and soul. What are those myths? Saulan, please.
Well, quite often people who think about self love, they think you're being selfish or indulgent on yourself. Maybe it's a bit of an ego thing. But I believe that self care and self love go together in the sense of respect and
Okay.
compassion for yourself. And
Okay.
that's not always easy. But yes, sorry, Dinesh.
Yeah, perfectly all right. Carry on. Go on.
Yeah, so I was, wanting to point out how important it is to be kind to ourselves. Quite often we think that we be kind to our friends, we're good to our relatives, we're good to our family, but we forget to be kind to ourselves. And so, if we do that, if we've been programmed from our childhood, we often believe that we're being selfish or we're indulgent on ourselves if we give ourselves permission and allow
Mm-hmm.
ourselves to be kind to and have compassion for ourselves. So it's a practice that we need to get into where we actually show ourselves respect. And I understand some people, and I would also think that at one stage is that we have to love ourselves before we can love others. But sometimes
Right.
we need love ourselves. We need someone to love us so that we can learn how to love. And so love in its biggest picture is important no matter which way we look at it. So, but starting off with ourselves keeps the glass full. And
Mm-hmm.
as a community worker, you can get easily burned out. And so it was important for me to always be aware that my glass was full so that I could give out. So having that love and self-care, it's a responsibility of ourselves to do that. It's not like we reward it like some people think, oh, I'll go and have a nice sauna or a spa or massage, or that'll be my self-care. But it's more than that. It's about showing respect for yourself, showing compassion for yourself, and that you're really important as anybody else.
Great. Yes, you are very correct. Self love and
Yes.
self care are the most important. Today morning only, my son was asking, Papa, if someone asks you what are the three most priority of your life, what would you say?
Yeah.
And perhaps, as you said, that self love and self care, out of that self care or the is perhaps the most important. Yes, one should take care of it. Very nice. Thank you so much.
It's good.
Now, navigating the transformation.
Mm.
For that, Saulan, can you walk us through the four phases of change and share how understanding these stages can empower our listener to embrace personal growth with confidence? What are the four phases of change? Saulan, please.
Yes, change can be a scary thing, and sometimes change happens when we know we need it. Sometimes it
Mm-hmm.
can come on us unexpectedly. Like for me personally, it was very unexpected when I divorced and separated, and it was a shock. It was more, my shock absorbers had to really work hard at what was happening. But you deny that this can't be happening. You don't want to be a statistic. You want to be married and happy. And what
Yeah.
happened? And so, and then you say to yourself, well, I'm actually resisting, that this is not really me and everything will be okay. But it's not always that way. And so we're constantly in this grouping of resisting, holding, pushing away. No, I don't want to look at it. It's putting it under the mat. So there's a lot of resistance that can happen when you're unsure of the unknown. It's that unknown that we are resisting the change. It's like a rubber
Mm-hmm.
band, it's holding tight. So, and also then we learn that the uncomfortableness gets so much, the tension has to be so strong that that's when we need and feel we have to explore. And how do we explore? We might go to a support group and understand that there is a lot of change happening. I mean, when you think the only thing that doesn't change is change. Yeah, and every day we're changing. We were just saying how in 2 years we haven't seen each other. Have we changed? We're changing every day. Our skin cells are dropping, our everything is changing. Our body shape is changing. But sometimes it's subtle and sometimes it's not. So being aware of change, self-awareness for me
Hmm.
is most important for us to explore, because if we don't understand how we're sitting right now, we don't know what we want to change. We don't know what to explore. So having that openness to explore is really important. And then committing to ourselves that this change can happen, and take ourselves out of and visualization and imagining things that are beautiful for you and the way that you can create your own destiny. We pocket ourselves into resisting that, or that can't be true, I can't do that, it's all I can't, a negative talk. So the mindset is really important, how we're seeing things. And if it is negative, what can we remove? What can we eliminate? Who can we talk to that can give us support? Because the support around us matters, and our energy is obviously depleting if we are not connecting to right people who can help us.
Right.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to have a woman who I met through Women for Human Rights at that time, came right at the right time. And I wanted to say that the alignment and connections come when we do shift our mindset to aim for
Mhm.
something. We have that creation of being able to visualize it. If you can't see it, very hard to get to it. So you need to see it and feel it yourself.
Right. Very correct. You need to feel it. You need to see it.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
definitely.
you say change, change, change. Yes, there is a time for change. Correct. Often you say time for change, time for change. Saulan, what does this mean to you? And can you share three powerful tips to inspire our audience which has got relation with this change? What should they do? Three tips, please.
It's interesting. I find change often happens when you're really kind of just sick of yourself, where you just overthinking. You're over the habits that you're getting into, but you're caught in a corner where you just can't seem to move anymore, and that sometimes we have to experience that before we actually make change. One thing I did learn, and I'd like to share this, is that when I separated, it was crash bang. Everything fell around me.
Mm.
I just didn't know what to do. I saw black. However, now I know I can control that. I can make the changes when I'm ready, not thrown on top of me where I just don't, I'm floundering. I like to know I can create and visualize what I want. And that's possible once we start to be aware of what we want. Sometimes we think we want something we don't even know what we want. You know, it's having that key to what you truly know you want and your true purpose of why you're here is most important to be able to make that change. So exploration and being curious, being curious about what is around us. Why are we seeing things like that? What is it that makes us make decisions and choices? It's because we actually feel that doesn't fit anymore. I'm feeling anxious about things. I'm frustrated by things, But it differs for everyone. You could go into a shell because you can't handle what's around you. That might be the call, the message to make a change. So surround you with support and take small steps. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't mean moving to another country or moving house. It's just a small thing. Like you might just go to a different, change your environment, meet new
Right.
people, join a different group. Just make those little changes. They can make a huge difference. A small change can make a big difference.
Very right, very right. I remember our senior citizens meeting. Everyone, when we meet, they only says, "What is there to change? We have already changed. So just let us be whatever what we are." But no, as you said that change is the
Yes.
requirement. Change is the nature. So nature, everything is change. So
Yeah.
one must cope up with it. Very
Yes.
correct. Very correct. Yes. Well, always you said that change is required, but no doubt for that one should have take the life as an adventure. You describe life as an adventure. So what does this mindset means to you? How do you say that life is an adventure? And what one should do for that?
I think I'm full of adventure. Uh,
Hmm.
Sometimes accidentally, sometimes I look for it. Maybe I do unconsciously. I think adventures. Sometimes you think, oh, it means to be climbing, Mount Kilimanjaro, or it might be something quite dangerous, and that's what you think is an adventure. But adventure can be so small again. It's taking the
Like,
small steps, taking yourself into your out of your comfort zone, and everyone has a different comfort zone. Speaking to somebody that you've from another cultural background can be quite overwhelming for somebody if they're nervous about talking to someone that they may worry that they can't understand. I mean, I see that quite a bit with people from other cultural backgrounds. There seems to be a fear around that, and that we should then open our hearts to listen is really important. To have our adventures doesn't have to be huge. That's really what I'm saying. But then the adventures, I know when I went to Africa and I was lucky enough to go, I didn't feel it was an adventure because my heart was telling me and I was
mhm,
aligned, ready to go, even though I didn't really know what was going to be like. However, there was a sense of adventure for me. Yet I didn't need to know because I had trust. I trust the universe or whatever you want to call it, your God. There is something about when you can go on an adventure and feel aligned with what you are meant to be doing. So there's a couple of adventure ways that you can see adventure. Adventure is to me being curious about what it is that we could be doing. What else is it that we can bring us joy? What is it that can change the way that we think or eat? It's all those small things that can change our environment, our mindsets, people that we meet. If we catch a different bus, even if it's by mistake, that can be an adventure sometimes. So when I see things aren't going to go the way I thought, my bus is late, or the telephone call doesn't come, I don't fret anymore as much as I probably would many years ago. I now say, this must be an adventure. This is something that's come because it needs to come. And then I would embrace it more rather than be overthinking, oh, why is that happening? Feeling that frustration and anger is just to embrace adventure and see it as an everyday thing that can be adventurous. Getting up in the morning and walking a different way, catching a different
mhm,
bus, going a different transport, that can be as simple as that, or doing huge things like traveling, taking big trips, taking driving trips, whatever that might. So everyone differs about what is an adventure and what is dangerous, what is comfortable. So be aware of what your own comfort zone is and step out and be game and have courage.
right. So if I have understood correctly, taking the change itself is one of the way to be happy, isn't it? And if it is so, then would you like to tell that what are the 5 steps or 5 ways by adopting them a person can be more happier or happy?
Mm. Well, again, happiness for different things is, for different people, like could
Correct.
be chocolate cake to cheesecake, different people like different things. And so what brings you happiness? For me, I find doing things that I enjoy, discovering new things, being being curious about what actually you can create. I'm learning more about creative arts, and that's
Hmm.
taking over quite a bit of how we can make things out of recyclable products, because so much is going into landfill. We're not conscious about what is consumable, and that we should be more creative and adventurous. And so that brings me joy to know that I can contribute to that. I can add to my life and to others by doing that. I also am aware of the energy that I'm surround myself with,
Mhm. Oh.
because energy can be quite draining, even to be aware of your own energy in different situations. Quite often you can walk in a room and you don't feel right. Quickly take yourself out or go out into nature to connect yourself to something that brings you joy. That brings you joy. Being in that moment, feeling what it feels like. What is it that makes you feel sad? What makes you feel happy? Being aware of your emotions, what brings you anxiety. All these little things can last to the happiness, because if we don't
Mhm.
embrace them, they actually can overshadow us. And we don't really want that, even though it so easily happens now. If we don't grab it when it's very small, then it doesn't grow into a big, ugly monster. So, yeah, being in the moment, accepting and realizing how important this moment is. Like sitting here with you now is focused, just speaking to you, and hopefully the guest, our audience, are being able to be in the moment with us as well. Having gratitude that I have this opportunity to be able to share my stories and my interest in people being living their most positive way that they can be and be authentic, because we are afraid of life for some reason. And how did we get here? Why are we afraid? And what is it we are afraid of? So having gratitude for what we do have, an acceptance of life in process. Things happen, good things, bad things happen to everybody every day.
Mhm.
And it's going to be our mindset that actually detects or determines how we're going to respond. So being aware and having that mindset where we understand that this is life. Life
This
is
is
the process of good, bad, or indifferent, but it's constantly changing. And if you live in the moment, you'll know that the next moment could change just like that. If you're in a bad moment, it can be a good moment. It can be a good moment, can turn into a bad moment. That's what I call life in process. And be curious and have an inquiring mind. We may judge people, we may judge ourselves, we may be hard on ourselves. Just be aware of your feelings and your emotions and inquire. Wonder why I felt like that. Be aware of your triggers. Treat them as glimmers, as a precious jewel that's come to you to be able to show you what is it that I need to look at. And then it becomes a valuable, precious gift.
right. So, yes, change one must have, and perhaps one can be happy only when he accepts the change.
Mm,
And when he is happy and accepts the change, I'm sure that he is relaxed. And
yeah.
you are the one who knows so many ways that a person can be relaxed. Well,
Mm,
Saulan, I have got so many questions to be asked, but the time do not permit me. Let me change my gear and come down to the next session,
mm,
and that is about the rapid fire question session. I'll be
yep.
asking you very short questions, and I request you to reply them in shortest possible way. And here is the first question for you, and that is, Saulan, if you could have a heart to heart with any ancient shaman in history, who would you pick, and what question, first question that you would like to ask?
Can you just pinpoint that question again? What is who
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
person?
If you meet a heart to heart, you meet any salmon in history, ancient salmon, any ancient salmon, who you will pick, and what's the first question that you would ask?
Oh, it's a tricky one. Um, it's somebody I can ask the question.
Yes, Yes, yes. Please go ahead.
Yeah. And what would my first question be? Who is the
Correct.
person? Who is the
Yeah,
person that
you
I?
choose any person. So, what will
Oh,
be your first question to him?
okay. Okay. Oh, you really got me. Uh, I think I would. It would be Nelson Mandela. And
Hmm.
question,
Wow,
my question to him would be, how did he manage to be so resilient and go through the change that he had to, that were put on him? How did he become so resilient and embrace what was given to him in such
wow,
a, yes, I think
very
he
great.
for me is a man of courage, and um, I highly respect him for what he has given to the
Right,
world in that
very
sense.
correct. And so, here is the next question for you.
Yeah, it's going to be as
What
tricky
is
and
the wildest, Saulan, what is the wildest spiritual adventure that you have experienced in this world?
what is the,
What is the wildest spiritual adventure that you have experienced? What was
oh,
that?
my most spiritual experience would have to be when I was doing my first course for holistic counseling.
Hmm.
And the course writer had holistic counseling, shamanic and soul care, and also coaching. So in our
Hmm.
first foundation course, we were sitting in a circle of about 40 people,
Hmm.
and a few incense burning and a few artifacts on the floor. But when we went into our first meditation with a guided meditation from the teacher, my
Beautiful.
first sight and my energy shifted as I saw Native American Indians around the room. And
Wow,
that's
great. And if you continue this, then please tell me, what is the one habit that you have picked up in last 20 years?
one habit. Um, Rituals, I think. Doing more
Wow.
rituals. Yes.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that is actually more, it creates more discipline for me. Yeah.
Great, very correct.
Yeah. And the
And
meditation, and the meditation comes from that experience I just shared with you, because I realized how powerful it was. So rituals of meditation and rituals for disciplining have been really,
will you tell that in a day how many times you meditate and how long you meditate per day, per
I
sitting?
meditate every morning, and at least 30 minutes, no less than 30 minutes.
Beautiful, very good,
Yeah.
excellent,
I
excellent,
enjoy going
excellent.
into myself. Actually,
Hmm.
it's very hard to come out sometimes.
Saulan, if a young man comes to you, young boy comes to you, what would be your advice to young generation?
Oh,
One
definitely.
advice.
Yeah. Be yourself, speak your
Mm-hmm.
truth, speak your
Mm-hmm.
truth. Yeah. Be yourself and speak your truth, and be happy the way that you are for all that you've been given.
Great.
Yeah.
Do you remember and would like to tell us that what is the one place which was not expected for your coaching and that
What
you found it? One unexpected place for you for coaching.
expected place?
Yeah. Any place where you were which you didn't expect to
Oh,
coach someone.
I know what my ideal thing is, which I like to share, is I would
Mm-hmm.
love to have a coffee shop doing creative
Wow.
art and
Mm-hmm.
coaching. So anybody could come into the coffee shop and they could come and sit down and have a coffee, tell me what their problem is for the day, and we could help solve it together. So coaching them, empowering them to learn how to solve problems and not to be too swallowed up by the everyday of life in process, really.
Great. Great.
Does that answer your
Well,
question? Sorry.
please, please go on. Yeah, please go on. You're telling something.
Yeah. I think that's my ideal thing is that to be able to listen to other people, which kind of brings to maybe to the next question, which you're going to
Right.
that I can hope I can share with you, is about the authentic conscious circle, because it is
Yeah.
really about that. The authentic conscious circle is, for me, a way that people can have a sacred space where they feel safe, they can talk
Mm-hmm.
about and be themselves. And it's not a place where you bring in your mask. I know I love Muji, if some people may know of him. He's a spiritual person, and he says, I want you to come in, leave everything at the door. All I want to see is you, not the roles you're in, not just you as your authentic self. And that is the space I'd like to create with the Authentic Conscious
Great.
Circle, where people can feel safe, where it's an opportunity where they can be themselves, they can speak from
Mm-hmm.
the heart, they're not going to be judged, and they'll be deeply seen by the others because everyone will have the same sense of having a space where it's nourishing. It's a way where we gather and we connect soul to soul. It's quite different from, and we're not there to fix anybody. We're there just to listen to each other, to see where we are all at that time.
Right.
Yeah,
We
present.
want to listen to you so many things, and whatever you are telling is very important, but the time do not permit us. So nice of you. So on behalf of my platform, that is the GST, I sincerely thank you and pray Almighty God to give you all strength, power, wisdom, money, abundance, and everything so that you can keep on serving the society, the mankind, and the people the way you are working and way you are serving. So nice of you. A big thank you to you, and we say
Oh,
namaste. So
thank you.
namaste
Thank
to
you
you.
again for everyone for listening and being
Thank you.
part of this. And thank you, of course, to our host and Dinesh as well for the Global Speakers Talk. So, yeah, keep it up and be yourself as much as you can and explore. Thank you.